You shaved your head.
Yeah, I'm doing a film called Motel and a Dying Girl, and I play the dying girl. And yeah, we shaved the head because I have leukemia in the film. So I have hair for half the film, and then we shave it.
That's awesome. I think you should. I think that there should just be like a hairstyle change in Bates Motel, and you should stick with it and no wig.
Well, Carlton, that's the guy to ask.
If anybody's a poster child for having a great head of no hair.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We were just talking to Freddie, and he said he's finding a lot of humor in your character and these little nuances that you're bringing to the role. Are you picking up on all of that? Is this all...
He just laughs at me. It's nothing to do with Romero. Romero's not very funny. He just thinks I'm a goofball. But no, we have too much fun trying to find moments between the lines.
Nestor genuinely is the funniest
person
in the car. I think you are. People will vouch for me.
Accidentally, mind you. Yeah, but I stumble into comedy. But no, we just have way too much fun trying to find mine moments in between. Anytime I get to insert the word gigolo in the scene, I will try. He's tried to insert oopsie daisy and okie dokie in every scene we've done. So it's just, and I'm sure, and they end up cutting 90% of those, of course, in post. But we just like to have fun. Keep it light.
I mean,
there's no humor in your character. You're always crying. You got problems.
You had a rough season 2.
Yeah.
Did they promise you a better season 3?
They did actually. They really did. It's going to be really good this season. Olivia. Don't worry about it. Yeah. No, they did actually say that. But yeah, she just doesn't know when to quit. I think Emma, she doesn't know when she's being rejected, and she's just got to be. She's just, if ever there was a more resilient character than Emma, she just goes back and forth. She's rejected, and then she just goes for it again. There's kind of no stopping her. But yeah, I think the end of season 2 was definitely like the breaking down of Emma. Like, all her efforts are just going to pot, and nothing is really happening from them. So when Norman gives her that little lead into their relationship, she just relishes in it.
So do you think there will be a renewed effort to be a part of the Bates family in season 3?
Definitely, but I hope she's learned a lesson and just stops being so annoying.
But I love the way you played it and the way that Carl and Derek carried it because there's no sentimentality. I mean, your character could easily suffer from CF, could easily
be a damsel in distress.
Be written in that way that she's a victim to her thing, but she's a fighter.
Yeah.
And I love the way you portrayed it and the way they wrote it as well, and that they're not afraid to attack a character who's already down. It's a brave move on both your parts.
So why did they want to be a part of this family? I mean, what draws both your characters to the Bates, and why do they want to be around them so much?
Misery loves company. I don't know. I think we're all broken birds in some fashion or other, and I think we're all sort of, even though we're broken, we're all strong in some fashion or other. We all stick up for ourselves, and I think we're drawn to each other because of that. That's my guess.
Yeah, and I think in season 1, Emma saw Vera and Freddie, Norman and Norma as this idyllic mother and son relationship that she wanted desperately to be a part of, and now she's seen that they're broken just as much as her. I think it just attracts them all, definitely.
Yeah, but they're being attracted kind of to the darkness in them, it seems like. It doesn't seem like they're attracted to their positive attributes.
It's being like drawn out of them too.
Exactly. Hard imitating life, isn't it?
Well, even though with your character, Romero seems to sense there's something off with, of course, Norman. Yet again, he seems to want to integrate himself more into their family. You're like, doesn't his warning signals want to send him fleeing away?
Yeah, no, I agree. I know. Yeah, he's at once sort of drawn to I think he feels for the kid. He knows he's fragile. He knows he needs help on the one hand, but of course, once he discovers that he could be implicated in this murder, he could be at the center of it. Then the cop in him kicks in and says, But again, I think he's drawn to Norma. He's drawn to Norman. Because they feel like people who will buck this issue. He's in a town that's run a certain way, and these are the first 2 individuals, mother and son, that he's met really in a long time that really will stand up to anybody. So I think he sort of, he really admires that, and he's drawn to that.
And Romero is definitely the hero in the sense that he finds someone like Norma's character so fragile and vulnerable that he kind of wants to encompass and kind of surrounds you. I feel anyway.
I think you're right.
Watching it,
I think you're right. I think he fancies himself a guy who can do it all. You know, he's got a big opinion of himself. So, but no, I think you're right. I think he probably.
A lot of people have that innate in them anyway, to certain degrees, and I think he just has like a lot of that.
I think you might be right, and I think you could be right. I think if anything, he probably thinks if he discovers that Norman is as messed up as we all know him to be, he probably thinks that he can fix him, you know, which is really quite pathetic. But that's all of the misbehaviors that all of our characters have. I think is what makes the show, to me at least, appealing, because people are flawed, and nobody's more flawed than this group, I think.
Do you consider Romero a good guy or a bad guy?
I think it remains to be seen. That I've been told that they're gonna get into my character's history at some point during the season. So I guess I'll find out what's behind his pain. I think he's a guy who's just trying to do the best he can with the cards he's got, and I think his moral compass has had to shift at times. Thank you so much. And but I think I play every character as if, you know, they're well intentioned. But obviously he's done some very questionable things. So.
Do you think his desire to be a hero means that there's multiple plots on his lifespan?
I think no one's immune to death on this show. So I just hope we were talking about this before. I hope I just go out in a blaze of glory when I do go, because I'm sure it's inevitable. Jazz hands and bossy hands. Yeah, I want to make sure that you go out swinging if we do it, if and when we do it.
Your house caught on fire, so there's no blaze.
No more blaze. Well, maybe a different blaze.
I'm curious, just based on the previous season, were there any moments or pieces of the character arc that turned out a lot better than you guys anticipated?
I think the scene at the lake with me and Norman, I think that turned out, it was just so heartbreaking when I saw it. When we played it, it was Norman going mad and being just very possessive and like, this is my property. Well, look what you're doing. This person actually means a lot to me. But it just played out so much more heartbreaking than it did. And it's like, oh, Norman actually really cares for Emma instead of wanting to control her and her to be his property. You know, that was really nice for me to see.
I'd like to see the arc in the very end when you're appealing to everybody to include you in the family. And Olivia was literally, I can say this, she had like no time. We were running against the clock to make, I think it was lunch or something, but we were really, she had like, they were turning around at her at the door with Norma, and she was spilling her guts out to her, and all of a sudden, Tucker Gates, our director, sort of pressed you just a little bit more, and the emotion that came out of it was overwhelming. It was beautiful. And it was just, it was so effortless and beautiful and incredible to watch. It was amazing.
PMSing really hard.
Well, Romero and Dylan seem to have a bit of a bromance, budding at the end of season 2. So do you anticipate that continuing? Storyline?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think there's a bromance, but I think Romero's also quick to pass the buck. I mean, he's basically essentially said, better you than me. Take over the reins and see how you do. I'll be right behind you. Don't worry, I got your back. So I think it's a bit of a cop-out, no fun, but there may be. I mean, we were certainly working together, and there's certainly an opportunity there. So I just love how Romero keeps rewriting history. Every season he's had a chance to say, here's what the story's going to be. So as long as I keep rewriting history and I stay alive, I'll be a happy camper.
Well, he seems to give Dylan a lot of latitude where he gives no latitude to Norman. It's like he senses maybe there's something more going on with Norman, and he trusts Dylan a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah. He hasn't pegged Norman yet. He hasn't fully pegged that this guy he's a psychopath. He's seen such a vulnerable side to him, and obviously the evidence points to him being implicated. But he's sort of, so he's very guarded about Norman. Whereas Dylan, I think he's an open book.
Do you feel like you've met your match with Dylan?
I think Dylan is
probably... It'd be a hard fight? It'd be a tough fight between you two?
Oh, it's no contest. No, but I feel like I almost have like Dylan could be my son, and whereas Norman is sort of a kid I might adopt that maybe wouldn't be,
A troubled kid that you might adopt.
Exactly. Whereas Dylan is sort of a guy who wears it on his sleeve, and there's something about him that I think my character instinctively says, I get this guy. I know who this guy is.
The son thing makes me think, do you think that there's hope for a romantic future between Norma and Romero? Because this past season there were some teases of it.
Yeah, I think the writers are open to it. So
are you open to it? Would you like to see that?
As long as
Amiga.
As long as she keeps misbehaving, I'll be chasing her.